Hey there guys, and welcome back to NIMBY Rails. Today we're continuing the rebuild of my map in 1.2. I thought it might be fun to look at doing part of the London Underground with the new single track stretches. So I've put in all the stations for the Northern line, as that is the one I've chosen to do today. We'll zoom in on Morden, start in the south, and start building a line. As it's a deep level tube and the tracks are in separate tunnels for pretty much all of it, I think. Can't think of anywhere where they're in a joint tunnel, apart from a couple of stations. I am actually going to do properly single track, not actually connected together lines, which means it will take a bit longer to build, obviously. However, I think it will end up looking quite cool. I assume. I have no idea actually what it's going to end up looking like. I guess we'll see once I start actually getting it built. There we go, that's the junction at Morden done. So we're in the tunnels now. I'll probably do out the other direction into the depot off camera, just because it will take a bit of time. I don't see the need to double check a map and see exactly how this runs. It's pretty much a straight line in my understanding, so we'll just do that. And now we really do just follow the road for quite a while. It's pretty much one tunnel either side of the road on the map in reality, although it does every now and again for the stations kind of go off to the side a bit, like there. If I bring this one up, you can kind of see. So I could still do the double tracks and have the spacing between them be wider. Like the default spacing is 5 meters. I could make that spacing 10 or even 20, say, and it would be a bit more accurate, like this, and they'd still be sort of tied together. But I don't feel like it's worth the effort, because you can't currently change the spacing before you build the track, so I'd have to change the spacing at every node manually afterwards, and that felt like it was a bit more effort than it was worth. So that curve is not ideal. Okay, let's carry on heading north. We do sort of just follow up here, I think. I'm going to actually follow the road even if it doesn't technically, just because that's easier, in all honesty. So there we go, into Tooting back, and onwards. I might skip parts of the line just because they're not going to be as interesting as other parts. I'll do them off camera so this video doesn't end up being an hour or so in length. But Kennington I want to do Camden Town. So we'll probably continue north up to Kennington, then skip up to Euston and Camden Town sort of area, and head north out of there. That's a sort of interesting place to have a station. It's not ideal. It's unideally far over to the left, but oh well. There we go. That's Balham to Clapham South. Really? Okay, Balham is further south on this line than I thought it was. Then we continue up to, I don't know, Clapham Common, I guess. There we go. Get the other track. So I really am going to only continue as far north as Kennington for this, I think, because it is taking a bit longer than I anticipated to get up there. It's only a couple of stops away now, if I remember. Go through Clapham North, and then there's Stockwell, Oval, then Kennington, I think. I think that's it. There might be another one that I've forgotten. It's a possibility. It is nice that there's just one main road that we follow. So it's Stockwell. I've put in, at the stations where it meets other lines, I have put in all of the platforms. So at Stockwell, Northern Line goes through the middle 2 platforms, and the Victoria goes on the outer 2. So there's easy interchanges across. You can quickly change from the northbound Northern Line to the northbound Victoria, and vice versa, and the same with the southbounds. The Victoria line was built like that at most stations, so there was an easy interchange. Up to Oval, and then next stop Kennington. This is where it gets a little more complicated, because I have to get a siding in the middle in somewhere as well. So, okay, by the looks of it, the turnback siding is pretty much the entire length between the 2 stations, which is quite a distance in reality. Probably not going to do that node. We'll have it come out like this, and then we'll have another switch over here. The points in the tunnels don't work ideally, they don't look perfect, but there's only so much I can do. And what else do we have? We've got... I need to move that set of points, really. It needs to be further down here, because I need space to have a switch over onto the outer track, which also complicatedly goes out here. I'm just going to put a load of nodes in, and then we'll move them into the right sort of place later on. So this is where the line down through Charing Cross branch through the centre of the city terminates at Kennington for most of the day, except for peak hours. And where does the loop actually end? It ends sort of here. Yeah, so the line through Charing Cross terminates at Kennington in peak hours, and then the trains go round the loop and they reform to head back north. And then there's these connecting lines to head down to Morden in peak. Right, everything I said there made sense, I think. Okay, we're going to skip up from Kennington now, I think. Or maybe we'll do one more stop further north on each line, on each branch. So up to Elephant and Castle, which is actually a little complicated. It goes in there. Work out which platform it goes in at, and around, and then again heading up to Waterloo. Now it's these platforms at Waterloo, and I'm going to do it on very few nodes because it is meant to be a straight tunnel as I understand it. Yeah, it is a completely straight tunnel. So I'm going to bring a node, bring these 2 nodes out over here. I'll try and straighten the line as much as I can. And then pull that node there so I get the nice curve in. There we go, I think that's okay. It'll do at least. Or maybe if I pull that one out as well, like so, we can bring that curve in a bit nicer. And then, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Now what I have done in some places, you can see it here with Monument and Bank. These platforms are a bit weird. Technically, the Northern Line platforms would be parallel to each other, and then the DLR platforms, which the other 2, would be directly underneath them. However, in order to get the station to all connect together and make one station as it is in real life, I've stretched the platforms out a bit so that they do actually connect all the way down this road where there would just be a corridor. I've done it a couple of times elsewhere as well. Charing Cross, I had to do it to get over to the Bakerloo line, the disused Jubilee line platforms, just connecting up. I think that's pretty much the only place I've done it. Like, Euston was fine because I put the National Rail platforms interconnected all together. King's Cross, I had to move a couple of the platforms a little bit from their real life location just to make sure it all connected. But that's pretty much it. So, let's build north out of Euston. First things first, we're going to do the line to Mornington Crescent, which is this one. It comes up like this, out of the tube platforms directly underneath the National Rail platforms. Then we will have the other two, which are these two, I believe. Although, apparently not. No, apparently they're the outer two. Okay. I thought they were the inner two, but the inner two are the Victoria line. Normally the Victoria line's on the outer ones. But fair enough. No, don't connect up to a National Rail platform. That would not be ideal. Right, you're meant to come over like this, and out this way, and be under this road. I see. I understand what's going on. So we have that there, this one over here. I've not got enough nodes, but I'm sure we'll make it work. That'll do. That's good enough. Then we'll bring the other line out as well. And round and up to the road. Make sure they don't connect and make sure everything stays a reasonable distance apart around the corner. Okay, then we've got to do Camden Town. This is where it gets a bit more complicated. I've got a diagram up of how this junction works, and I just have to try and copy it. So we're going to bring these two lines in first, I think. Or am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to bring the other two in first. So, we have that. That's nice and simple. And we'll work off that as a basis. And then the other line from... Wait, is this from... No, this is more complicated than I thought. These are the lines from Charing Cross, aren't they? Because they sort of turn around. Yeah. Okay. That's wrong then, actually. And needs removing. Great. Pull that back. Right then. What we actually have is it goes in here. Then we have a line come off here, round into there. We have another line off of here, going out this way. I'll move the nodes at a later point because I think these are meant to be kind of superimposed up here, one on top of the other. And before there, it switches off and comes into here. And that gets every combination. Right. In terms of southbound, we've got a connection out of here, which comes underneath and along and then out this way, and then to connect to it from the other direction we have, by the looks of it, a line out here like so, and a connecting branch from there over to here. Sorted. that technically is the full junction. Now just to move everything into the right sort of position. I do want to kind of superimpose everything. Although to make it a bit easier to see what's going on, I'm going to put them slightly offset, I think. So we'll pull these down, bring these round, pull these out just a little bit. Where are they? Where are the nodes? There they are. Yeah, if I pull it out to have the node over the edge of the tunnel on the other line, that should make it a bit easier to see what's going on. Then this one could do with staying down like that. And if this one could also sort of stay below. Although it will need to come out for that point. So I guess that'll do. There we go, that's not terrible. Camden Town. I'll probably build up the... I think this is the High Barnet branch to finish off, and then we'll do the Edgeworth branch off camera. I think there's a bit more going on the High Barnet branch, what with Mill Hill East and everything. So, could be interesting to deal with. I'm not sure if it does follow the road, but I'm going to follow the road. That node needs to be moved, really, because that's ended up in the wrong place. So yeah, a lot of the underground lines have weird junctions like Camden Town. I chose Northern because of Camden Town primarily, and because there's so much of it. But a lot of the lines do have that sort of complicated junction somewhere. Although I can't think of all of where it would be on all of them off the top of my head. Say the Piccadilly and District. The Piccadilly is Acton Town. The District is Acton Town and Earl's Court. Is a particularly complicated junction because there's so many branches meeting there. Aldgate for subsurface trains, quite complicated. The Metropolitan is an interesting line to deal with because it's got 4-track and even a 6-track section somewhere. I think that's where I pop out of the tunnel. Although now I'm down to myself, I'm going to have a look at a map quickly. No, it's not. That's where the lines out the back of the depot end, where they would have continued south through a high-level Highgate and down here to Finchley, to Finsbury Park. I stay in the tunnel a bit longer through to sort of around here, where we then pop out either side of the main line. Well, not the main line, the line into the depot. It's not at all the main line. That is a bit further over than I would have liked. Okay, bring the viaduct in. What I'm going to do quickly is add in the depot lines. Using a quick switch over, pull over to the right so that I don't have to deal with it too much. There we go, they go into the depot. And then the other single track comes out like so. Am I going to be able to move, if I can move that so that it's not needing a viaduct? There we go. There's a little wiggle that's not ideal, but it removes the need for a viaduct, so it's not all bad. And then this one also goes into a tunnel and comes down past the depot and into Highgate. Then we become a bit more complicated. Out the top of East Finchley, we briefly have 3 tracks, the middle one being a siding, before we end up down on 2. I'm thinking once we do end up down on 2, we might be best served being a double. Like this. Where does that siding end? Right. The siding ends right after this road. So if I put us on the double here, then remove, turn off double, back to single, connect up to that line. This one comes out the other side and into the platform. The siding comes down the middle and switch so that we can get into both platforms. Then we also need to be able to get out of the 2 middle platforms into the track on either side. This is actually not a terribly useful siding, I'm seeing very quickly, because the centre platforms are only used for trains going in and out of the depot. So you'd only be getting into this siding if you've turned if you're coming out of the depot and you're going back in again. You can't use it to turn around a train and head back south because there's no points this side of the station. But fair enough, the siding exists. I've included it just in case. Okay, down we go. Well, I say down. We are going up. We're heading north. What I have forgotten to do is, just north of the siding down here, there is a set of points, like so. Just so we can switch over. Now then, how does the junction at Finchley Central work? Okay, it's actually a little more complicated than you at first think. What I'm going to do is pull that down to there, then bring this line out like so into the side platform, and also have the switch over into the main platform parallel to a switch from what is now the siding. Sorted. If I can pull that node down a bit, that might be ideal. There we go. Now then, heading north out of Finchley Central is also complicated. So first things first, we'll do the main line. It sort of comes out like so and up here. And now it's out of the way. Then we have the branch off of it, which is double track till about there. And we have the single track line, which runs parallel to that and continues on up to the station at Mill Hill East. I'm not going to be able to make that work at all, am I? Not without it looking terrible. Well, I guess we are resigned to a viaduct here then. Mill Hill East Station itself is kind of on a viaduct, so it's not terrible, but I'm not going to be able to make this look good. That's the best I can do. Okay, we'll pull that line up. Then we have a set of points out over to the far track. The middle one is once again a siding. And then this junction, which is a little complex. We have points out of here, down to here. Points out of here, up to here. And points from there up to the siding. And then I'm just going to make that a bit neater. There we go. Leaves very little of the actual siding length left, so I might just extend the siding, even though it strictly speaking doesn't go any further. Sorted. Now we continue with the double track north. Up to Highgate. Not Highgate, High Barnet. Words. I know where I'm going. I'm not going to be able to make it look good. To use a viaduct. And then once we reach High Barnet, I'll stop and do the rest off camera. I'm not even going to bother with the whatever yard might be up there, because I have no idea, basically. Into a tunnel by the looks of it, just briefly, pop out the other side. And further north. Can't be much further, right? Yeah, there it is. I'm going to say probably bridge over here from memory. And up into High Barnet. Sorted. Okay. Oh, we've built part of the Northern Line. I'll do the rest off camera. So, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.